Welcome to the last day, first discussion, Pondicherry Heritage Festival 2016. We will talk today about our heritage in Pondicherry through the written word. I would like to introduce Maurice Shukla, who is going to be the moderator today, and he will take you through the program and introduce the speakers to you.
A very good morning to all of you. So here we are at the concluding discussion presentation of the Pondicherry Heritage Festival. When we think of our cultural heritage, we usually think of old monuments and a collection of objects of value. The intangible component rarely gets our full attention, or it's taken somewhat for granted. But this intangible component of our heritage is extraordinarily rich and varied, and it is this intangible component of our heritage that is responsible for perpetuating these living expressions of our traditions, practices, our knowledge of various crafts. And a lot of it was passed down to us orally. And so the heritage of the spoken word is in a way central to our country's cultural heritage. Today, we're going to focus on the heritage of the written word, which is also extremely important, even though a lot of it probably came down to us through oral memories and transmissions from generation to generation. This morning's endeavor is to give you a glimpse of that wealth of the written heritage connected with Pondicherry. In a world that is moving towards ever greater globalization and cultural uniformity, I think this fragile, intangible cultural component helps us significantly in maintaining a certain cultural diversity. And the more our understanding of this intangible cultural diversity grows, the expression of this diversity through different communities, different sections of society, I think will also grow a certain sense of social cohesion, a sense of unity and mutual respect for the different forms of expression. And this is something that we need to perpetuate. So, as we are here this morning with a number of speakers and the time is short, we shall start straight away with, we were planning to do it in a chronological way, but our dear Professor Manoj Das has some important engagement, so we will start with Manoj Das this morning. Yes, and a little request, if you could put your mobiles on silence, it might help. Now, Manoj Das, present in our country and who enriches the Pondicherry cultural heritage in a way, like nobody else does, really. Now, Manoj Das started life as a young, radical, revolutionary leader. Being a prolific speaker on various subjects related to India. And his deeper quest for this ideal world and the ideal society led him to Sri Aurobindo and the mother. And today, Manoj Das is here with us to speak to us about Sri Aurobindo and the mother, who are such a significant part of the Pondicherry heritage scene. So, Manoj Das, we are very happy to have you here with us, and over to you.
Sunayana ji and all the friends and ladies, gentlemen and friends, some voice told me yesterday, you are going to speak on Sri Aurobindo at Pondicherry? Is it not like carrying coal to Newcastle? I told him, if I were a citizen of Newcastle, I will be very happy if someone carries coal to my door. But anyway, the comparison is not very. Few shall know what none yet understands. God shall grow up while wise men talk and sleep, and belief shall be not till the work. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, and till the work is done. Yes, I'm sorry. My memory with my age is gradually fading as my body is fading. So, dear friends, I leave it to Maurice to read out a few passages from Sri Aurobindo. And thank you very much for your patient hearing.
There are, in the history of the earth, moments of transition when things that have existed for thousands of years must give way to those that are about to manifest. A special concentration of the world consciousness, an intensification of its effort occurs at such times. We are precisely at such a turning of the world's history. This is an extract from the mother, from her book on education. The changes we see in the world today are intellectual, moral, physical, in their ideal and intention. The spiritual revolution waits for its hour and throws up meanwhile its waves here and there. Until it comes, the sense of the others cannot be understood. Until then, all interpretation of present happening and forecast of man's future are vain things. For its nature, power, event are that which will determine the next cycle of our humanity. At present, mankind is undergoing an evolutionary crisis in which is concealed a choice of its destiny. For a stage has been reached in which the human mind has achieved in certain direction an enormous development, while in others it stands arrested and bewildered and can no longer find its way. A life of unity, mutuality, and harmony, born of a deeper and wider truth of our being, is the only truth of life that can successfully replace the imperfect mental constructions of the past. It is such a change and such a reshaping of life for which humanity is blindly beginning to seek, now more and more, with a sense that its very existence depends upon finding the way. It is this calling of diviner potentialities and more spiritual values into the intention and structure of his life that is the call upon humanity. The prospect offered to it by the slowly unfolding and now more clearly disclosed self of the universe. The nations that most include and make real these things in their life and culture are the nations of the coming dawn. a spiritual evolution, an evolution of consciousness in matter, in a constant developing self-formation, till the form can reveal the indwelling spirit, is then the keynote, the central, significant motive of the terrestrial existence. Thank you, Maharaj. Satyanarayan Sharma, who is a senior researcher at the French Institute at the FAO, and he, as an associate professor of the AFAO, will present to us today the Saiva Agamas. So, Dr. Satyanarayan, over to you.
Thank you, Maurice, and thank you, Sunaina. Good morning to everyone. How we are preserving the heritage texts in Pondicherry. Shaivagama is Agata Shivavaktrebhyo Gatascha Girijamukhe Malatraya Vyapayatvat Tasmad Agama Uchyate. So why this is Agama? It has come down from, come directly from Shiva and then entered to Parvati. That is what it has been revealed by Shiva first to Parvati and then to Shanmukha and the Rishis and finally it reached the human beings. So that is why it is called as Agama, and it consists of these Malatrayas. This is the important aspect in Shaiva Siddhanta.
Yeah?
It is
Okay, so there are 12 Varvas and they are Vaishnavite saint poets who lived somewhere between the 6th and the 9th century CE. They are hard to date, but there you go. And they lived in the Tamil land. And their works were compiled around the 10th century CE, and I'll come back to that later. And when it was compiled, their works were compiled, they were called collectively as the Nalaira Divya Prabandham, meaning the 4,000 divine compositions.